So how do you make computer-based training in PowerPoint? It's an easy, very easy program to work with. So that's a huge advantage of using it. But it doesn't have everything, all the bells and whistles of something more powerful like Articulate and Captivate have. It's not as easy to maybe link to an LMS, with SCORM compliance as Articulate and Captivate. It doesn't have as many features, like it's not as easy just to create a drag and drop or anything like that. But it does have some very powerful features to it, so I do really like to use it when it's, when it meets my client's needs, especially the biggest reason I use it is the client doesn't need something that's, has a lot of interaction, and the client must be able to edit, publish, send this out to people all the time, because it's really easy for a client to be able to edit in PowerPoint. So how do you create some computer-based training in PowerPoint? So I'm just going to very simply create some computer-based training. So I'll kind of show you like some of the steps, how I would go about doing it. And I'm just going to show you some basics. So like, I'm not going to really use much of an instructional strategy here. I'm more or less going to show you how to add some content to the screen, some suggestions, I'll make a quiz question or a knowledge check just so you can kind of see how that would go, and do a little bit of, I'm not going to really do formatting or anything, worry about the background and stuff, because I assume, if you're watching this, you probably know the basics of PowerPoint. The point is to show you how some more stuff in addition to the basics and relate it to computer-based training. All right, so I might have my title of my content, whatever it's going to be. First slide would probably be, why are you using this? How do you use this tutorial? What are your objectives? If you're using something like an instructional strategy like Gagne's 9 events, we're going to have some kind of introduction and objectives and, excite the users, But, for this, I'm just going to have example, like I'm just going to say objectives. Or even I could say menu, goals, whatever I wanted it to be. I'm just typing some examples here. I'll say content 1. Let's see. Content 2. Knowledge check. It's A, B, C, D. Let's add 3 more slides. All right. So let's talk about what this is. Okay, so I have my introduction, which is my title. The users are going to get here. They're going to click to go to the next screen. They're going to get to this objectives, goals, whatever your intro is. From here, I could have links on each of these that's going to go to my content. So, for this one, I could call this content 1. And I could put a link to content 1. So, for example, I would click on it. Go to my insert link, and this is where I can say place in this document, and I could say where do I want this to go. Usually what I like to do, I don't usually like to do next slide, last slide, that kind of stuff. I like to pick the slide title that it's going to be, because sometimes you would like to reorganize things, and if that ever happens, especially if a client is going to like reorganize the order at some point or delete a slide, you might have just messed them up. So always just choose, like I know this goes to content 1, I'm going to select content 1. So this link is always linked to that slide, no matter what order you put it in. Okay, then what I probably want to do is I don't want my users, first of all, I want them to use a button to navigate. I don't want them to be able to go to the next screen by just clicking, because when you play a PowerPoint presentation, and you just click the mouse, it just goes to the next screen, and that's not what I want to happen here. What I actually want to have happen is I want them to have to be forced to click a mouse. So I'm going to go to transitions, and I'm going to uncheck on mouse click. I have to do this for every slide, but uncheck that. Now what happens when I play this slide? I'm going to click the button. Look, it's not moving forward. So, but now I need to put a button that lets them go to the next slide. I could just keep it because they have the link to content 1, so we could just keep it like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually insert a button. So, you can make a button, you can have an image, you can take one of these. I just click the shape up here, and I'm going to put that on the screen. And all that you do to make the shape a button is you're going to click on it, insert, link, and say where I want it to go. And again, I'm not going to say next slide, I'm going to say content 1 because that's where I want this to go. All right, now what I like to do, I like to make sure that my buttons are all in the same place. So I'm going to actually copy this and paste it onto each slide. The reason that I'm going to paste it onto the slides is so that it's in the exact place. Notice when I scroll up through my slides right now, the button doesn't move. Why is the button not moving? The button's not moving because it's in the same place. If you try to just put a button on another slide, like let me take an example here. Okay, there's my button. I'm going to go to slide 6. I'm going to insert a button. And let's see how good I did. Look at that. Look at the switch between those two slides. You know how hard it is for me to, and how much time it's going to take to align it up perfectly? It's going to be a big pain and time killer. So just put it, copy and paste it. Now I have to go in and add a link for each of these. Obviously, I have to change the link. So this is content 2. This will actually go to knowledge check. Let's see, content 1. Did I link that one? Yeah, that one goes to, oh, yeah, content 1 needs to go to content 2. Objectives, I believe I did. Yes. Perfect. Okay, so now if I play this, we can't go anywhere here. This goes to content 1, content 2, knowledge check. Now, what I didn't do is I didn't uncheck that box. So like on content 1, I need to go to transitions, uncheck the on mouse click. That's so they have to click the button. So I'm going to do that for each of these. All right, so that's how I navigate. So as I'm going through, like content 1, you need to come up what's your, delivery strategy for delivering your content. But when you're using PowerPoint, you really don't want to, we're not using this for a presentation. This is for computer-based training. So you can put a text on the screen, more than you would for a presentation. But you still have to be conscious of your space and what you're doing and your fonts and everything like that. So make sure that your strategy works well with what you're given in PowerPoint. I wouldn't suggest putting notes on the screen because you don't need to do that because this is computer-based training, like notes under here. But you can still use things like narration. You can use video. You can add sound and narration to each one of your slides if you would like to. So you can do things like that. And you're going to want to use strategies like chunking and whatever your delivery strategies are, depending on your project is what it's going to be. So for something like a knowledge check, you would have your question and you would have all your answers. Very simple. Look at this. So this is wrong answer. This is right answer or correct answer. And this is end. Okay, so we have our check. Knowledge check, we have our wrong answer. So I'm going to be like, sorry, please go back and try again. And I'll probably get rid of this button, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put a button here. I'm just going to put a circle just so you can see. So they're going to have to click this to go back. And I'm going to put a link on this. And the link is going to go back to the knowledge check. So if they land on this slide, they have to click this button to go back. Right answer. Right answer allow congrats, whatever I'm going to say. And I would obviously give them some kind of feedback and all that good stuff. For this, we are going to have a next button. And I should have copied and pasted it because that's just going to go to the end. But I didn't. Just for this example, it's okay. And this is going to go to last slide, the end. All right. So now what we need to do is we need to go into our knowledge check and choose our right and wrong answer. So let's make A our right answer to make this really easy. So that's our right answer. And then each one of these can be wrong answer. All right. Well, we don't even need to do D. That's okay. All right, so you get the point of how you can turn this into computer-based training. So let's play it. Let's look at it. And obviously, I'm not showing you how to add sound to PowerPoint. I'm not showing you how to add a video because it's a click of a button. I'm not showing you how to put an image. I'm not showing you how to add word art. I expect that you know the basics of PowerPoint. This is to show you how to take all those basics and actually make some computer-based training that works and can be functional. All right, so let's click on our view and let's play it. See what our users would see. All right, so they're going to see the title. They're allowed to click on this slide to go to the next. They can click to go to content 1 or click the next button, but they can't just click the slide. All right, they're at content 1. They see it. They like it. They've learned it. The content, they're learning. They're going through our delivery strategies. They're working, and they're at their knowledge check. They're at their knowledge check, and they click B, which we know is the wrong answer. Shoot. There's some feedback about what the right answer is. They have to go back. They click C. Oh, wrong answer again, right? Okay, now we click A. We got the right answer. And we're done. So this is how an example of how you could take PowerPoint and start to formulate computer-based training. This is a really quick, simple, dirty tutorial on how to do it. I didn't include any kind of an organizational, instructional strategy. I just kind of showed you the basics of what it could start to look like. This is a very simple model so that you could take this and actually expand on it and make something that's pretty worthwhile in this tool, if that's what you have to use. Because there have been times where I had to use this. There have also been times where I've seen I've developed something really powerful, like using programming or Adobe Flash, and I could have taken the client, I could have said, hey, what we've developed is we could have done that in PowerPoint because you didn't really need the software you use. We could have made it really easy on them, saved them some time and money. So always consider it, and this is just some basics of how you would develop that. Thank you.